What up, everybody? It is your boy, J Shep, and I'm here with the rundown. That's right. It's a brand new show. It's a brand new day, and I am your host. Yes, and I'm here as my own producer until I get this team, this staff of people. But welcome here to the rundown, where me, your host, J Shep, I discuss topics of the day and things that are on my mind. Things that I love, things that I don't love, things that frustrate me, things that make me laugh, things that make me cry. Real stuff that I deal with personally, stuff that I've helped people through. I'm a pastor, I'm an artist, I'm a songwriter, I'm a producer, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a son, I'm a friend. To some people, I may be their enemy. I think we all fit some kind of a role in people's life. And it's my goal with this show to just bring another perspective to people. I know you might be like, is this another podcast? I like to call this a nodcast. This is a nodcast. You might say, Jay, what is a nodcast? As you begin to watch this show, you're going to be like nodding in agreement, right? That's a nodcast. You're gonna nod in agreement a whole lot, or you may disagree with me a lot. So this is not a podcast, it's a nodcast. I just made up that word. So I'm glad that you're here. If you're watching this live right now, I want to tell you thank you for taking out part of your day to watch this. If you're watching this live, I want to ask you to do a favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Here's why it's important that you do that. Because I have a goal of doing this show consistently. And it's not going to make sense to do it consistently if it doesn't grow. So every single time you hit the like and the share button, it gives a chance for the algorithm to hit somebody else to see it and be like, I like this guy, or I don't like this guy. I'm going to keep watching it because I don't like his takes. I'm going to watch this guy because there's something about him that I do like. So whatever it is, just hit that like button, hit that share button, and we are going to jump right on in today with the rundown with J Shep. So listen, I so much has happened since last night, and even there was a topic that I didn't get to yesterday on my show that I'm gonna get to today. And I was like, okay, do I want to do back-to-back shows? Am I trying to be on here every day? And it's like, if you're going to build consistency, if the people going to trust you, you got to get on here and speak your mind, speak your thoughts. So my first thing that I want to, I'm sorry, my watch was just going off. Diddy goes down. Pause. I had to start there. Diddy goes down. He was taken away, y'all. He was taken away. Before I give you my thoughts on Diddy in this whole situation, I gave a story yesterday about how a situation with Pastor Keon Henderson kind of triggered some thoughts about me. And I didn't want to just give an opinion. I wanted to figure out why does it trigger me? And when I think about Diddy going down, pause. When I think about Diddy and this whole situation, I think about myself as an artist and many, many other artists who have looked to make it in this music industry. Hey, Tanny, how's it going? I thought about not just the whole situation with what he is going away for, but I saw this interesting interview on the Joe Budden podcast with John B. It's not necessarily related to Diddy, but I'm going to relate it to Diddy, myself, and many other artists like myself. So I'm going to bring in this clip from John B, and we'll be right back.
Later, and you know what I mean, I still haven't been paid a check for my records. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So
Babyface was big red. I told
we gotta work some things out.
Well, you ain't been paid a check from one record.
From any of my records.
Oh, now let's get
What?
it. Yeah, now
John B, shut up, man.
Nah.
John B.
No, they still have
John
to
B,
pay.
I would walk out of this room.
No,
Why
they
do you think
still,
he lying?
They still have to pay.
That sounds believable.
Every record?
That sounds believable.
Every record, bro.
Nah, there's some type of check.
No, I get checks because I do shows, but I don't get paid for my records.
No publishing, nothing?
I mean, it's not what it needs to be. You know what I mean? It's not right.
So you wrote 100% of records that you're not getting.
They're produced.
And that's what I'm saying, 100%.
We're working all that out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense in the times of when you signed
96.
with somebody and you gave you got a certain advance for your publishing, you got a certain level of things.
No, it wasn't none of that. It was more of like in the fine lines.
The fine print as a young man.
Print, like, oh well, in order for you to get paid, we have to recruit these other artists that we signed.
That's a bad man.
All right. I know that was a short clip, but in essence, John B, crooner, you know, good, great performer, songwriter, all that. This is not about me being a John B fan or whatever. But this is what triggered me about the whole situation with Diddy. And what's up, y'all? Thank you all for joining me. If you're watching this, you're watching The Rundown with J Shep. Feel free to hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, because this is the only way that this show and this content continues to grow. And I hope that you're enjoying this, and I hope you're having a fabulous day. So John B sits there and he's talking on the Joe Budden podcast about how he's never received a publishing check from his career. And I empathize with that. Not that I've never received publishing, but I empathize with artists. And why this story about Diddy going down, pause, is a big deal for artists everywhere. When we think about the creatives, right? I've been doing some research on people like Johann Sebastian Bach. You're like, where are you going with this? A Baroque composer from the 1700s who made his living in the church, being commissioned to make music for the church. Whereas if you research his life, he died a poor man. Right? One of the greatest composers of all time, Mozart, didn't necessarily have the same issues as Bach, but Mozart didn't really have a lot of tremendous business skills because his skill and his gift was creating music. Where am I going with this? Creators, in the essence of artists, music artists, songwriters, producers, often end up on the short end of the stick. Period. And we've heard stories about, in particular, Diddy, how cutthroat he had been towards his own artists. People like Craig Mack, people like Black Rob, artists like The Lox and Faith Evans. And so last year, I believe it was late last year, it was a big deal that Diddy releases the rights to all the publishing from the former artists on Bad Boy. And some people were like, oh man, this is big of him. And I'm looking at it like, dog, you're a dog, bro. Because your whole career, Diddy's whole career has been used to use people, to take advantage of people, to take advantage of artists who came from deplorable situations, to take them and rob them of their treasure, of their greatness. So when I see here and I look at John B saying, I never received a publishing check. And this is what I often hear when it comes to people who talk music business talk to artists. And it annoys me, and excuse my language, it pisses me off. It does. This is something that really irritates me. When people say, you got to know the business. You got to know how to read contracts. It's irritating when y'all say that. Because what you're doing is you're projecting onto somebody who actually may know what they're doing, but they're not the one in power and in control. And when a person who is in power and is in control continuously moves the goalposts and continues to lead your whole career down a path of confusion, it doesn't matter if you know the business or not. You're getting screwed either way. And with Diddy, you getting screwed either way. No pause. I see you, Jay, but Trump is running for president. Yeah, he tried to take publishing from our producers. I resisted. See, producers say, stay out the fight. I had them. See, and that's the thing. And amen for you. And amazing to have people who actually have integrity, who are called to protect artists. It's not that many of y'all. It's really not. So for every 5 or 10 producers, let's say you represented 8 producers, Tanny. What about the other 200 people that you could not reach? And so for a day like today, I'm giving my personal thoughts. I'm not happy about what happened to Diddy. Some people are like, finally, he's going to, that doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me rejoice. Is it justice? Absolutely. But it doesn't make me feel good, because now I'm looking at like, man, how many lives did you actually ruin, bro? Beyond the whole trafficking, because bro has been trafficking artists for years and they couldn't get him. Trafficking artists. This is what the music industry does to its finest. And it makes people literally want to quit before they even get a chance to get their foot in the door and do anything meaningful. You gotta deal with dudes like this. Telling a person they need to learn how to read a contract is excusing the person. See? That's my point. Thank you, Teron. That's my point. When people tell you, well, you gotta know the business, and you guys like, yo, that's so, that irritates me. Because you're never gonna know everything about everything. I've been around managers who are very knowledgeable, and you ask them a basic question, and then sometimes they'll be like, man, I really don't know that. Because sometimes things can change so quickly. And when you have a person who all they really have, so think about, I'm gonna go back to Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, Chopin, all they had was their skill. All they had was their artistic value. And so now artists gotta be content creators. They gotta be their own publishers. They gotta be their own producers. They gotta be out there trying to protect themselves. And so when do you actually get a chance to make a living off of what you actually do? And then you have guys like Diddy, who's been trafficking artists for years, buying cribs. So you use your music trafficking money to traffic other things that now get you put in jail. Should have been put in jail for the practices that you did to people like Craig Mack and Biggie and Faith. Should have been behind bars. I'm going to play you this clip I got it from Shade Room. And it's going to run down the charges, or a few of the charges, with Mr. Diddy.
As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come.
All right, so a couple things stick out here. We didn't need to know that y'all seized lubricant, bro. Like, why is that pertinent? Like, come on, that is as unnecessary as Shannon Sharp's audio going back in. So, what was I saying? Why should we trust law enforcement in this case? We've been hearing about the things that he's been doing. We've been hearing horror stories about who he's been involved with. Why should we believe the law enforcement community now? Like, it's a dog and pony show at this point. Like, am I excited that he got arrested? No. Am I glad? No, I'm not glad at all. I'm not. I want justice to prevail like all of us want it to, but I'm not excited about this. This is nothing to be excited about. Sorry, y'all, my internet got cut off. Thank you guys for jumping back and being back on here. I see you out there, Michelle Bennett. That's right. It was unnecessary. Some of those things, like, we don't need to know that. Why do we need to know that? Oh, we see, and it's like, bro, what you finna do with them? And when they went to the pictures and when going to the weapons, I thought they were about to show the others. I'm like, bro, please don't show that. We don't need to know that. It's so much unnecessary stuff that's being covered right now. And more facts are rolling out from this case. And without even going into the other stuff from Cassie and Lil Rod and all that, you know, we knew eventually this day was coming. And we're just going to have to wait and see and let everything else play out. I want to move on from this Diddy conversation, and I'm going to transition to another conversation that's been happening for the past week about the Super Bowl. And everybody's throwing a 10 cent out there about Kendrick Lamar being chosen to perform at the Super Bowl. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. My personal opinion, my personal opinion was that they made the right decision. But here's also my personal opinion. I believe that there were 4 right choices that could have been made for that performance. And Kendrick Lamar happened to be one of the right choices that could have been made and was made. So Kendrick Lamar, right choice. Why is Kendrick Lamar the right choice? Because he's the hottest artist right now. He's the hottest rapper right now. He won the battle with Drake. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. Hit songs. They Not Like Us. Look, come on, man. Kendrick Lamar, obvious choice. Obvious choice. Now, I'm going to tell you the second obvious choice, of course, was Lil Wayne. It would have been the right choice to choose him. You have 4 choices. I'm telling you, it's 4 choices that could have been made. These are my opinions. These are my thoughts. It's obvious why Wayne would have been the right choice. It's obvious. He's from New Orleans. He's in the GOAT conversation as rapper. You got the whole city, the whole culture of New Orleans would have been brought to a national stage. And it would have been a nostalgic hip hop New Orleans feel had you had Lil Wayne, Hot Boys, Manny Fresh, Juvenile, Baby. You would have brought out No Limit. It would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. That would have been a right decision too. I'm going to tell you the third right decision that could have been made. The third right decision. Drake. Drake would have been the right decision to perform on the Super Bowl. It would have been crazy had he been chosen. The numbers, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. The numbers would have been the highest numbers had Drake been chosen. I'm telling you what I feel. Am I saying he's better? No, I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying had he been chosen to do the Super Bowl, and actually from things that I've read and seen, the interviews that I've heard, Drake has actually turned down the Super Bowl a couple times. But that would have been very interesting had Drake gotten a nod for the Super Bowl. I could see it now. That would have been crazy. Now I'm gonna tell you the fourth right choice for the Super Bowl. To me, this is the choice I want to see. And I'm going to play a clip from Lil Wayne because I want to talk a little bit about Lil Wayne. But to me, the best choice that could have been made, my personal choice, I shouldn't say best, my personal preference of who I want to see at the Super Bowl, I want to see a Watch the Throne Super Bowl. Jay-Z, Kanye, Super Bowl. That would be crazy. Nobody can't tell me that would be crazy. A Jay-Z, Kanye, Watch the Throne Super Bowl. Halftime show. Crazy. Now, I know Jay-Z ain't gonna choose himself. He said no to the Super Bowl because he want to pick the acts that go up there, blah, 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 blah. But for me, personally, Jay-Z, Kanye, Super Bowl would have shut everything down. Had that been a choice, we wouldn't be talking about Wayne not getting chosen over Kendrick. It wouldn't have been no drama had it been Jay-Z, Kanye. I don't know how y'all feel. See, Latanya, because I'm looking at it like we haven't seen them publicly together in years. But you see them come out on stage, because I already see it. You see them come out on stage with some shades on, just stand like the whole vibe it'd just be crazy. There were 4 right choices that could have been made, and the right choice was made. Kendrick Lamar was the right choice, but there were 3 other choices that could have been made. I want to play you this clip because I want to dive into Wayne and his thoughts about not being selected. So let's check this out.
Say forgive me for the delay. The delay on, just the delay. I want to say I had to first of all I had to get strength. I had to get strength enough to do this without breaking. I must say thank you. I must say thank you to every voice, every opinion, all the care, all the love, and the support out there. Your words turned into arms, and it held me up when I try to fall back. That hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about, it hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. And for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. So I blame myself for that. But I thought that was nothing, I thought that was nothing better than that spot and that stage and that platform in my city. And so it hurt a whole lot. But y'all are fucking amazing. It made me feel like shit not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like shit, you guys reminded me that I ain't shit without y'all. And that's an amazing reality. So, like I said.
All right. So there's a gist from Wayne. I see your comment, Charlene. Thank you for jumping in. She said Kanye offended Jewish people. It's a wrap. Yeah, it's not an option. I can see that. I mean, I can also see that if anyone is more Teflon, Kanye is probably the most Teflon person that can survive being canceled or, because at the end of the day, Kanye, when it comes to his art and when it comes to things that, it's just my thoughts. It's my thoughts. Kanye has never been accused of being anything other than himself. So he has no other baggage that you can cling to other than him being him. Like business practices, like what he's, done to people, like is illegal. Like there's no other baggage that you can hang on Kanye. So if you're just gonna hang his words and him offending somebody, there's always a way for people to make a comeback after they've offended people. There's always a way. Now, if you have other stuff that you can hang on that, then it becomes harder. That's my opinion. But I mean, I see your point. So I'm not disagreeing with you. And I do believe that probably factored in. But let's go to Wayne. Like Wayne, you could see, and he tells us, this broke me. This broke me. This is what I appreciate about new media. This is what I appreciate about new media. Like, me being able to create content like this. People can share their exact thoughts and feelings in real time. We don't have to wonder how Wayne felt. We didn't have to wait to get the Source magazine and read an article in the Source that somebody else wrote after they sat down. We got to hear it straight from the Source. We got to hear it straight from Wayne. That he was hurt. That he was broken. Dog, that hit me. Why did that hit me? Because I know what it's like, not on that scale. I know what it's like to anticipate that something gonna happen and you don't get it. This is what makes Wayne the people's champ in a way. It's that level of vulnerability. In his words, he said, because I didn't get it, I didn't feel like S. But he said, but then I realized without you, I'm not S. That's real. And for a man to be vulnerable, for a rapper to be vulnerable and open up to say how they really felt, salute. That's not easy. Failing publicly is hard. Like what's perceived as failure. Because when you're so used to winning all the time, or you have this idea that all I do is win, or I can't lose, or I got this bravado, or people can't, the crushing of a person's ego can literally take them out of here. And what you saw in his conversation was that, man, and not even trying to project, because I don't want to project, but you saw a guy that was like contemplating, like, what? She said, you can't bite the hand that feeds you. Oh, I mean, yeah, I hear you on that. Well, let me push back on that, Charlotte, because I'm going to get back to this Wayne point. Kanye is actually the hand that feeds. And he's proven that. Without my ideas, y'all actually don't eat. Without my ideas, you actually really can't do anything, because you need me to produce cool. You need me and my ideas to produce into the future, because you actually don't have an eye for the future. You don't have a prophetic voice. You don't have you're not tapped in. You don't know what people actually want. So he fuels people. Like, this is why artists are so important. This is the depths of importance of art, because art, the spiritual connection that people have that are super tapped in as artists, when they don't do it for the money anymore, they become very dangerous. So you think by taking his money away that you stripped his joy away, that you stripped his ability. You didn't strip. You just took what you deemed as value, but the people still know is valuable. And that's why Adidas did this crazy fire sale of Yeezys, because they no longer really had the name behind it to give it the value anymore. What Kanye say? Gotcha. 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 So in essence, to me, Kanye is the one that feeds. Now let's get back to Wayne. You're going to see more and more rappers. You're going to see more and more men because Big Sean is doing it. I seen Fabulous on a podcast recently. You're going to see more and more men actually be open to talk about what they're going through. Shout out to Jay Barnett, who's actually my therapist. Shout out to Jay Barnett. He's doing amazing work in this area. And Jay Barnett, in our last conversation a couple months ago, I was just telling him how I was feeling about stuff and, just, pastoring and just like the pressures and all that stuff. And Jay was just like, where's your creativity? Where's your outlets? And how are you allowing for yourself to be vulnerable through what you create? What is your outlet? What is it like? How do you find time to give yourself permission to create something that doesn't have to be excellent? And how can you share, right? So even this show, I don't have to be perfect on here. I don't. My internet glitched and I didn't start everything over. Like, I didn't panic. But seeing Wayne, a person who's been, had a lot of controversy surrounding him, and I've seen other people, and I'm really, there's something that honestly I'm working on big time. I'm working. This is one of my personal things I've been working on this year. Really, really working on personal work. Maybe it's something that, that some of you all have done already. I do my best to not project anymore. I do my best. And by projection, it's telling somebody else what they should do, how they should be, what they should have done. And now I'll get into my bag when it comes to sports. But when it comes to like real stuff and the sensitivity of what somebody should do, like all black kids should go to HBCUs. I'm very leery on telling and projecting that, because my thoughts are, man, I think people should go where they feel led. They should go where they feel they're going to get their best. And they should open up their options. So find the best place for you. It's a projection. So people are projecting on Wayne. They're pulling up old stuff about stuff that he said about Black Lives Matter. And this why Jay didn't pick him to perform for the Super Bowl. It's like, bruh, okay, but stop projecting. I want to hear what this man said. Let me hear what Wayne has to say about this. Not what you have to say as far as why you feel he wasn't picked. I have no thoughts on why he wasn't picked. I laid out, to me, there were 4 right choices, and one of those 4 was chosen. And I'm not going to project on why the others were not chosen. I'm not in the room. I have no thoughts. I have no ability to even form an opinion, but it's all these people pulling up old clips of Wayne and stuff that he said, how he performed, and how it's like, if you think that's why he wasn't chosen, you have your right, but I'm not going to project. I prefer to not project. The entire I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Charlotte. I don't think. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not going to disagree with that. So I have one more topic that I want to go into. This one's going to be somewhat humorous. I'm going to share my thoughts on it because I truly believe that some churches, not all, some churches have turned into a clown show. And I will show you exactly what I mean right here.
God is not a God of confusion. We will have our worship experience and we will conduct ourselves in a Christian manner. And if you do not conduct yourself in a manner which is in line with that of being a Christian according to the Word of God, you will be asked to leave. We're going to ask you to be escorted out.
So when we asked you to leave, you
Hallelujah.
said you didn't want to go.
Hold your peace. Hold your peace, please.
No, because he's up there in the pulpit talking about it again. Just speak your word that you want to speak today and let it be. Yeah. Because you don't have to get up there every Sunday.
See if the officer is out there and ask you to come in,
You
please.
won't be touching anybody. Nobody in here will be touching
How can you do that when 2 weeks ago your wife was condemning people to hell?
And tell them they're going to die. They're going to die.
Y'all hold y'all peace, please. And
But you should be talking to everybody in the congregation like you just move on.
I am the pastor here. I am the pastor here.
Employee.
Wife is condemning people to hell. Obviously, devil worshippers.
Go down now, Mama. Hallelujah.
First thing gonna come get is you.
We are, our brothers and sisters, God is not a...
Come on, y'all. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Do I have any, what's this? Yeah, that's the appropriate noise there we go. Yeah, so when I walk into this church, I should bring this. Yeah, because it has become a clown show. Not all churches, not most churches, but some, quite a few. See, I'm careful. I'm not going to condemn all churches, all preachers. But this church got to be a Baptist church. It's got to be. Sorry if you're Baptist and you're watching this, I love you. But this got to be a Baptist church. It's got to be. And everybody on this video is on some bull. A while ago, I had a chance to actually sit down and be interviewed by a Baptist church. And the line of questioning that they gave me, I wish I had a camera. I felt like I was being punked. I really felt like I was being punked. This is no lie. This is no lie. No lie. There's about 10 people on the board. And the third question they asked me, do you have any outside girlfriends or outside children that we need to know about? Whoa, third question. I said, excuse me? Stone-faced. I'm sitting there like, no. Do you live at home with your wife and your children? This is a question you asking me? Clown show. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. So this pastor is up telling everybody what he gonna do if you don't behave in a manner that is becoming to a Christian as is stated in the Word of God. So he up there basically gonna strong arm people and say what he want to say. And then here come old crazy in the audience. Well, when we told you to stop, you didn't. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So this is what we doing. This is what we doing. You got the head. I guess he's the head deacon. He's standing up there. Oh, can you please hold your peace? Please hold your peace. And typically, that deacon that's holding that collection plate is cussing the pastor out in that office. He don't like him. And that deacon may have told that lady in the audience to say something during offering. Y'all, I'm telling y'all what I've seen. Clown show. Clown show. Clown show. And you, a normal person, would be embarrassed. A normal person would be embarrassed. They would say, man, I'm so ashamed of what happened. I let my emotions get the best of me. I shouldn't have allowed myself to. But no. I guarantee you the next week that pastor's going to be up there and Sister Mary Francis is going to be in her seat, and she just might say something if he say something that she don't like. That's annoying. That's one of the most annoying things about structure. So when Ty Tribbett says the church is whack, you look at that video and I'm like, oh, this is what you talking about, Ty. I got it. I got it. I didn't like the fact that he said that on the Breakfast Club. It's just keeping it a buck. But I got it. It's that right there. It's the fact that you could ask somebody in an interview, do you have any girlfriends? You go anywhere else, you go interview it. I've been on a lot of interviews in my life. And if that question were ever to come up in any interview, that company would be sued. I think it's an inappropriate question to ask anyone at any time. Now, you can lay down ground rules and say, these are our expectations. If you fail to meet our expectations, then this is what happens. When you go to an interview, you might take a drug test, but they're not going to ask you, are you on drugs? They're not. They're not going to do that. So you got these churches here that are set up to just stay a clown show. And then they just continue to say, well, this is what the behavior becoming of a Christian and blah, blah, blah. Like that. That's such a phrase that irritates me to no end. Because you have this place where you're so-called becoming this good Christian, but is anyone growing? Who's becoming better because they are there? Who are the people that are becoming better because they're members of this church? Oh, my grandmama helped found this church. My granddaddy was here. Cool. Are you better because you're there? And is the church better because you're there? Don't start asking questions like that, because they'll look at you like you got 5 eyes. What does better mean? That they don't care about that. Last video I want to play you, because this is something that I thought was interesting as well. And I'm going to wrap it up. It's another video in church. And it goes to this whole idea of projection. And while I understand where this lady was going, I think her analogy was trash.
Confess to you in this room today that I am a liar. And you know why I'm a liar? Because every time Apple sends me an update and they say, have you read the terms and conditions? I say yes. That makes me a what? A liar. And that makes you too a liar. Because you have not read them, but you sign up for it because you like the product. And many of us treat Christianity that same way. We sign up and say, we want to be Christians. Have you ever read the Bible? No. Do you believe the Bible? Yes. Have you read it? No. How do you believe what you haven't read? We don't thoroughly investigate what Christianity teaches. And then we're disappointed when it doesn't fulfill what we thought it should for us. But the truth is it never promised it. I want to confess to you in this.
Oh, God, I can't even hardly stomach that. Okay. So she starts off by saying, when you agree to the terms and conditions on your Apple phone and you agree to it, you're a liar if you didn't read it. Horrible analogy. That's just terrible. If she want to call herself a liar for that, then be my guest. But don't you dare call me a liar because I don't want to read through the terms and conditions. That don't make you a liar. What? Stuff like this. People will say stuff when you get the microphone at church. And I wonder, like, have you thoroughly thought through what you're about to say? Have you thought through it? Then she goes on to say, and yes, you signed up to be a Christian, but you haven't read the Bible. What does that mean? You signed up to be a Christian, but you haven't read the Bible. Really think about that. Who signs up to be a Christian? I was born into a family that attended a Pentecostal Church of God in Christ church. I didn't sign anything. I was born into a family that had a set of beliefs that was passed down. Now, ultimately, I do believe that any person in any faith should look to have a greater understanding of their faith as they begin to grow in it. No matter the faith that you're in, if you are, and this whole idea of Christian, what type of Christian? What are you talking about? Are you a person who is actually considers themselves to be saved? Because not all facets of Christianity believe in being saved. What is she talking about? Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? Clown show. It's the projection. Saying that a person is a liar because they didn't read through all of their agreement on Apple. Saying a person is a liar because they haven't read the Bible cover to cover means that they don't understand how to be a Christian, that's projection. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that people failed you in their teaching. There's no book on how to be black. Which is why I'm not with this whole idea. Or if you black, you should be doing blah, 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 blah. No, that ain't how that works. Black is in existence. You just are. You can read to understand history, but some things are innately inside of you. So yes, if you want to grow in a greater knowledge of who God called you to be, you're going to find that not only in the Bible, you're going to find that in the gifts that God placed inside of you. Because when you actually live and use your gifts, I believe that you will find God inside of how you use your gifts, how you treat people, how you respect people, how you speak to people. Because some people actually aren't going to just sit up and just understand and read the Bible and know and get answers. That's not how everybody's brain is wired. Everybody's brain ain't wired to sit down and read the Bible and understand it like that. Everybody just ain't got that like that. And if it's you, great. If you wake up in the morning and you read the Bible for an hour and a half and you speak in a heavenly language, amen. That does not mean that you know God greater than a person who doesn't read their Bible that much. I'm sorry. Gotcha. Gotcha. The projection. Stop projecting on people. Love people. Appreciate people. Value people. And when you value people, you will learn to value yourselves. My name is J Shep. This is The Rundown. I hope that you liked the show today. Like it, love it, share it. Also subscribe so you don't miss another episode. I love you guys.